He is a stone-cold Titan killer.
Hey, what's up, my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Medicom Real Action Heroes Attack on Titan, Levi. So here we are, and there he is. And first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. So right up front here, we have Levi. On the side, we have Levi. On this side, we have Levi. On the top, we have logos. On the back of the box, Levi is doing his spin attack of murder, death, justice. And when you open up the front flap here, we have some more obligatory product shots. Does this, that, the other stuff, and things and stuff. And here's where the figure sits with a nice image of the wall and stuff. And look, his name is Levi, and that's basically it for the packaging. So here we have the captain of the Levi squad. It's quite a coincidence that he joined a squad that has the same name as him. That was a joke, people who take things literally. Anyway, let's get in close here so we can take a look at the head sculpt. Very nicely done head sculpt here. Love the paintwork there on the eyes. They just really captured that total look of indifference that is Levi. But I really love the artwork here on the eyes. Those extra lines just really... It just captures Levi, even that bit of shadow, as you can see, there's even some shadow going across the eyes there. It just really just kind of captures Levi's constant state of being, which is just, you know, like even in the face of death, he's like, well, that's unfortunate, you know. But nicely done molding here for the hair. Again, you got those highlights and shadows going on. So... some nice paintwork as always. Of course, he has his uniform there, the Wings of Freedom emblazoned on it, on the front there, on the shoulders, on the back. Of course, it's done in that kind of faux leathery material. He's got his little ruffle thing. I'm sure there's an actual name for this. I don't know what it is. I don't really care. It's thing. And you got the straps here for the ODM gear again. Nicely done with some nice paintwork. You got the little full leather pouches there for the controls, the belts, this thing, which always just looks like a skirt, but hey, it's a thing that they wear, and these straps and whatnot going down the legs, the boots. They all wear the same uniform, but hey, it's still worth showing off because it is very nicely done. Very good quality, in my opinion. So there you have that. Now, articulation-wise, head is on a ball joint, so you get some nice wiggly-waggly movement there. You can look up a good ways. You can look down. Of course, full 360-degree range of rotation. Arms, of course, can do a full 360, but you do have to kind of work with the clothing to make that happen. You do have inward and outward movement. The shoulders also do move forward and back. You do have rotation. It seems like it's at the shoulder. It's not at the bicep. It's kind of at the shoulder itself. You have that rotation there in the arm. Nice full range of movement there in the elbows. The wrists can rotate. You do have that hinge there as well. So depending on how you have that oriented, you can have the hand going in any direction you want. You do have waist rotation as well as some crunches. I believe that is on a ball joint there. So you do have some wiggly-waggly as well. So you got some crunching going on. Legs can move forward about that far. The leg joints on mine are really stiff, but you can move forward that far, back about that far, outward. That's as far as you can go before you start to stretch his crotch out there. You do have thigh rotation, over 90 degrees of bend at the knee, and the feet, they can move up very slightly. They can move down a good bit, and you do get some good tiltage there. So, basically the same amount of posability as all of these other figures. So, now let us move right along and go through all of the accessories. Of course, you do get the base right here, the stand, which is done in that transparent plastic. And you do have rotation there at the base, hinge there, hinge there, hinge there. You can also rotate the claw can open and close. And you just take it, tip it around his waist, and that holds him up nice and secure like. So now that we have him on the stand, we'll do some comparisons. So here he is with the Figma Levi. Just so you can see how they scale together. Here he is with Mikasa. Just so you can see how they scale with one another. Here he is with Armin. So you can see how they look together. And last but not least, here he is with Eren Yeager. As you can see how they look together. So, there you go. So now that we got that done, let's move along with the accessories. Of course, being a soldier, he must have his omnidirectional mobility gear. Again, just like with all of the others, the paintwork is very nicely done. Lots of nice detail going on there. I know I've showed this off many times already, but still worth showing off. But it is very, very well done, in my opinion. Anyway, and of course you have the controls there, which again are nicely detailed and nicely painted. And it attaches as it does on all of the others. You just get things kind of out of the way here. You do have to kind of you always do have to kind of fuss with these wires. Gotta get everything out of the way. There you go. As always, this just plugs right there into his back. Just make sure that plugs in nice and secure like. There you go. It's a little snug on Levi though. Especially this side. Come on, get in there. Come on. Okay, a little snug on Levi there. And of course you take the little zipline launchers here and they will just plug in to the sides of the belt. So you just take them and just make sure we get everything situated here. So there you go. Just plug those in like so. And as always, I've said this every time I reviewed these, do not push on these bits right here because these will snap if you put too much pressure on them. Make sure you apply the pressure right behind that post right there. Do not use these for leverage because you will break them off. So do be careful with that. And we'll just get the other side on. And again, just exercise just a smidge of caution. So there you go. And we can take and you just take these and they just plug on to those ball joints there, nice and secure like. Snap right on. Boop. There you go. So all that just plugs in right there. And of course, if you wish, you can take the controls here and just feed them in through that loop. And you can just have that stored in this little pouch here. It's not the easiest thing to do sometimes, wants to fight you, but there you go. And you can have that going on if you wish. And continuing on, we do get the 6 little blade stumps here. I already have 3 of them installed. And these are just to give the illusion of the scabbards here being loaded up with the extra blades. And as always, these blades are shaped a specific way, so you just want the sharp side facing down. And that's how they plug in. So you got that going on. You do also get the 2 full-sized blades here, which again are very nicely done. Very nice paintwork, some nice detail there. They do have a little bit of a flex to them, but you don't have to worry too much about them. They're pretty flexible, but obviously don't go too far with it because you'll break them, but they are pretty flexible. And you can take these and feed these in to these scabbards like so. And again, I so wish the Figmas were able to do this. That's one thing I felt the Figmas were missing was the ability to do this. But there you go. So there you have the scabbards loaded up with all of the blades. And the last accessory for the ODM gear is, of course, the zip lines with the tips just done in that nice silver, although the little bit of black paint on there is a little bit on the sloppy side, as you can see, but well, not the end of the world. And just like I said in all the previous reviews, do be careful with these because these are made of a very rigid plastic, and as you can see, it's very, very thin, so do be careful with these because you could snap them if you're not careful. And they just plug in right there, so you can, you know, you can do that. Yes, I have to do that every time I have to. I just have to. But, yeah, that little effects part there if you need it. And again, just try to, okay, I'm scared. I'm scared. There we go. Okay. Again, be careful. Be careful with these. Now, as with all these figures, you do get extra hands. Now, the hands are on him right now are just, you know, open, relaxed hands. But you do also get a pair of closed fists. Right there. You get a pair of sword-holding hands. And you get a new pair of sword-holding hands. So he can hold the swords in the reverse grip. And I'll show off how these work in a second. And you also get these hands, which are meant for a specific accessory that this figure includes. And we'll get into that a little bit later. That's the really fun part right there. Now, the standard holding hands we've seen in every other review. This time we're gonna focus on the reverse grip hands because I think it's pretty cool. So we'll just remove the controls here. So what you want to do here, obviously, is you just want to just feed the wire to the finger there, and just take this and just feed it up the hand. And these hands are quite tight, I will say. Like, getting these controls in his hands like this is not particularly easy. It's doable, but it's not particularly easy. But once you kind of get everything in place, like these two fingers, you will have to legitimately like stretch out. Like the first time I plugged these in, I actually needed a tool to kind of help just get his fingers into place. And I actually left these in his hands for a couple days just so the fingers would stretch out into shape, just so things would be a bit easier. And now they are a bit easier. You can see that everything just kind of went right into place nice and easy. But that first time, it is going to be a bit of a struggle because the hands are actually a lot more, these fingers were a lot more closed in than they are now, so they do need to be stretched out a bit. But there you go. Now you got the reverse grip there on the hands, and we'll remove the hands. The hands, as always, very easy to swap out. Just plug the new hand in like so. And of course, now we need the blade. Let's remove the blade. Give me the blade. Come here, blade. There we go. And just plug that on. And there you go. So now Levi has the reverse grip there for his Titan slaying blades. That's pretty cool. And of course, with this figure, you do get optional faces and hair. And to swap the faces, as always, is very simple. You just remove the front of his scalp here. You remove his face. And we can replace it with this face, with him just looking that way. At least he's looking in a different direction. I'm happy about that. And the faces just plug on nice and securely. Plug the hair on. Everything just holds in. And now he's looking that way with total indifference. Just kind of... Actually, he seems a little more annoyed with this face. Kind of like... kind of has that look to him there. So you have that option if you want. Or we can just remove this face and replace it with... That's what I call this face. Anyway. So you can plug that on. That's what I call that face. That's what I call it. I don't know. So, there you go. Ah! It's just weird because this is actually conveying emotion, and Levi doesn't do that very often. So, you know, it's just very odd for me. But again, you know, the paintwork is very, very nicely done. Again, I love that shadow they added to the eyes there, across the eyes. Very cool. So you do have that if you want. I don't like his whatever face this is supposed to be. But you do also have optional hair. Let me just plug his regular face on. and you get the flowing in the wind hair. Just plug that on. There you go. Which is kind of funny. It just makes him look like he's, I don't know, like he just put too much product in his hair more than anything. Just like, hey, I'm Levi. How you doing? I don't know, but just, I don't know. This one's kind of funny to me. I don't know why, it just is. But anyway, you have those display options. As always, they are very much appreciated. So there you have that. And of course, you do get the green poncho here with the wings of freedom emblazoned on the back. So if you want, you can take this and just drape this over Levi. Now, I will say Levi might be the only... This might be the only figure I actually display with the poncho on, because Levi was definitely a poncho guy. He was definitely a poncho guy. He just... that poncho worked for him. It worked. But again, you just have that metal hook there, and you have this little loop of thread right here, and hopefully this will work. Hey! On the first try. So, there you go. You just bring that down. And you can, if you want, you can have the hood up. You can bring the hood down if you want to. Just leave it down on his back like that. And that's very Levi. That's very Levi. So you can have that look going on if you want to. Like I said, he might be the only character I actually display with the poncho on. And of course, the poncho does have a wire going down the front as well as around the bottom. And, you know, as always, with anything that has a wire in it, don't mess around with it too much, because over time you can weaken it, and over time, you know, it will snap if you mess with it too much. So, you know, keep your posing of it to a minimum, you know, just try to get in whatever position you want and just don't mess with it too much. But yeah, I might actually leave the poncho on Levi, because actually it works. It works with Levi. So now let's get down to what I think is the most fun part of this figure, because I absolutely love this display option. So we do actually have to take his stuff off here, and we have to kind of disrobe him. You know what, I'm going to do all this off camera real quick, so I will be right back. Levi! Okay, so we got the ODM gear off of him, we got his hands off, so now let's remove his jacket here. And the jacket comes off very easily, as you can see. Just bring his arms back. You do want to remove his little, his neck piece here as well. Just holds on with Velcro. So you just remove this as well, and just put that off to the side. Let's fix your collar there, buddy. All right. So this, I like this. This is fun. So now we're going to bring in his neckerchief here. And it does have a wire going across the top and a wire going down the bottom. And this is a very thin wire in here. It's a very thin wire, so again, be careful with it. Do not mess with it too much, because I can see that snapping pretty quickly, you know, yeah. So, you know, don't mess with that too much. But in order to put this on, you do have to kind of remove his hair and his face. It just makes this go on a lot easier. So you just put that on, put his face back on, put his hair back on, and again, just kind of get this pose in a way so it's not like right in front of his face. You know, do the best you can. I'm not going to waste too much time trying to pose this, but there you go. You get the basic idea. And we also get his do-rag right here. Which, there's no wire on the bottom, but there is a wire going across this top piece here. So, you just take this and put it over his head. Which, again, pretty easy to do. Just slides right on. And you just take this, and you just bring it back. Again, just use those wires to help you pose things to your preference. Like that. I love this. So once you have that done, if you remember, I showed off these hands a bit earlier, and these hands are meant for his dusters, or little mops. I'm not sure what these are supposed to be. I think they're supposed to be dusters, but yeah. He's got two of these little dusters here, and the handles actually do have some nice paintwork to them. As you can see, this is just actually made of a material here, like a cloth. So yeah, get the little dusters here, and we just take these and just feed them into his hands. These are pretty tight. Getting them into his hands, there you go. It is doable, but they're kind of tight. Just get that on. That one in his other hand. Come on, there we go. Then we just plug these in. And now Levi is ready to clean. I love that. I love that so much. That's cool. I love that we can have cleaning Levi if we want. Like, I really love that. So yeah, that is basically it for Levi here. Another very nicely done figure. You know, nice. You know, as always, you know, these figures are actually pretty good quality. Of course, they do have their little points of fragility here and there. There are some things we do have to be a little careful with. But all in all, it is a nicely done, good quality figure in my opinion. So there you go. So if you would like this or any other Attack on Titan toys, you can always check out BigBadToyStore.com for availability. There will be a link in the description down below, so you can check that out. You can also check out my Attack on Titan playlist for any reviews you may have missed, also linked in the description down below, so you can check that out as well. And I think that's it, so don't forget to check out EmGames, check out Lori Plan, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff down in the description below. And I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So, there is the Medicom Real Action Heroes Attack on Titan Levi. And this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud. Palm in your face. You're all cowards! You don't know the first thing about Captain Levi! Oh? Is there a reason why you're beating this man? Was there supposed to be? Why you?